This
three-day
conference
FGP
will
on
now be recorded.
innovation opportunities in emerging electronics and communication technology, conducted by Department of ECE, TVR and Dr. H.S. Meek College of Technology. Today, we have a renowned scholar, Dr. Avatar Singh from Ethiopia, as a resource person. Now, I invite Ms. T. Sridevi Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, to introduce today's resource person.
Thank you, Vijay. Good morning to one and all. I am Sridevi, Department of ECE from DVR and Dr. HS MSc College of Technology. Today we are pleased to welcome Dr. Avatar Singh, who is affiliated to Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Adama University of Science and Technology from Adama, Ethiopia. Dr. Avatar Singh is working as a chief researcher cum assistant professor in ASTU. Dr. Avatar Singh has authored and co-authored multiple peer-reviewed scientific papers and presented works at many national and international conferences. His contributions have acclaimed recognition from honorable subject experts around the world. Dr. Avatar Singh is actively associated with different societies and academies. Dr. Avatar Singh research interests include modeling and simulation of semiconductor devices, tubular based devices, strained based devices, etc. And today he will be sharing with us his expert opinion on the research opportunities in VLSI. So, dear participants, give your full attention to Dr. Avatar Singh. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot for inviting me to deliver the lecture. Thanks to all of you. So, shall we start, ma'am? So, nothing is there. So, shall we start?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. Carry on, sir.
You can start, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank
We
you.
can start.
Please. Okay. So, as madam already told me, told you and me also that I'm giving the lecture on the research opportunity in VLSI. Okay. So, generally, I'm working on the devices. Okay. So, today's whole talk is templated as per the device VLSI devices, not as per the VLSI circuits, because in VLSI we have two things, backend and front end, and in backend there are a lot of things, and I am generally because it's a very large field, so make it more informative and make it more attractive. I try to concise my whole talk within the devices. Okay, so research opportunities VLSI. So first, can you please tell me the whole the whole audience belongs to electronics, or someone is from electrical, mechanical, and any other branch?
Sir, maximum electronics.
Maximum electronics.
Sir,
Some
mostly
are from other.
participants are from electronics. Yeah.
Okay. So most are the students or faculties?
Faculties, sir.
Okay. Then we know everything. So I think I have not to discuss much things, but still, as per the need of the presentation, I will discuss as a basic as well. Okay. So first of all, as we are seeing today is processor. Everything is in processor. Everybody knows. Processor is generally a thing which is generally used to do the processes, tasks, jobs. And micro means that something within the microseconds. Okay, the simple, everybody knows all these things. I'm just telling nothing because might be some people are not belongs to electronics and not from VLSI. And there are some technical words. Like this is the gate length, also known as technology node. Okay, so we are using it. What is this? This is the actually MOSFET, simple MOSFET. This is N plus, as you already know, N plus P type. This is the gate, channel, something like oxide, and there is a gate terminal. source terminal and drain terminal. Okay, so this is the gate length. This one. We are, because whole VLSI is only around this gate length. Okay, so see. Okay, so as we have seen in this graph, this is the gate length, nanometer. What is this nanometer? You just, okay, nanometer. Okay, in 1970s we are started from 10 gate length. It's a, okay, now in year 2020 we are starting from this gate length. Sorry, starting from 1970s, this gate length around 1 micrometer or something like this, or 10 micrometer, I think. Now we reach to this thing. In 1947, when the first transistor was came, it's of the palm size. Palm mean like just my hand, this much big. Now in year 2020, everybody knows Apple iPhone 11. Okay, Apple iPhone 11 has 7 nanometer transistor, 7 nanometer gate length. Gate length is the same one what I told. This is the difference between the source and the drain. Okay, so 7 nanometer gate length transistor, 7 nanometer gate length transistor. So you just see the difference. In 1947, then when the things have started, that is the size of palm, might be some centimeters, about 12 centimeters or something, like some inches. You can 6 inches might be. Okay, now the things are come to 7 nanometer. 7 nanometer means we can't able to see with the naked eyes. You see the size of the transistor. So this is the whole thing, whole VLSI. VLSI basically defines that how we can able to miniaturize the thing, how we can able to put more number of transistors into a single chip. This is the VLSI, whole VLSI integration, large scale integration, very large scale, ultra large scale, nano large scale, a lot of things are there. Okay, but the things are only to how we can able to put more number of transistors in the small space, small thing, small space. Okay, so you just see in 2020 we have already approached this thing. This is the prediction, but we have already approached. So this is the number of transistors in right now. Today is in 2000. I'm not asking about right now. At 2002, this is the graph of 2002. More than 100 million of transistors for every human being on this planet. You just calculate the population of the whole world, then 100 million transistor for every human being on the planet. So this is the growing university like anything. So because you all are the faculties, so you know already that is the highest payable jobs are in the VLSI. Although in India we are not doing the job in basically in the devices because due to the lack of application facilities, but still if we are like in Korea, China, and all US, we have seen because they have the fabrication facility, they are working on this. In India, might be we have somewhere in SCL. I heard from someone that SCL Mohali now started with the production of SOI and micrometers only, about 90 nanometers might be. Somebody told me. Okay, so this is the brief history in 20th century when the first because I think in about 1950s, before 1950s, vacuum tubes was there. So vacuum tubes you already know it is which is the bulky one. So when 1947 first point contact transistor was came, and this is the first integrated circuits in 1958. Professor Jack Kilby has, I think, he invited this and discovered this, and he also got the Nobel Prize for this. And this is the brief history. In 1961, first IC was built, production IC was built. In 2003, Intel Pentium 4 microprocessor is came. Then just see there are a number of 55 million transistors in Intel Pentium 5. And what's the size? Its size is not much big than this. Not much big than this. Then 512 DRAM, it's about 0.5 billion of transistors. Okay, so this is the growing like anything. This industry is growing like anything, because we have to follow one rule. In 1970s, this is the first NMOS transistor, because first NMOS came, then CMOS. Okay, so in the first our 8085 is based on NMOS only. Okay, so this is the main thing. This is the motivation for whole the VLSI area. This is the Moore's law. Moore's law states that in every 18 months, the size of the chip should be half, or we can say the number of components in the chip should be doubled. The number of components in the chip should be doubled. The same thing. The size is half, or the number of components is doubled. Okay, so every 18 months. That's why we are approaching like this. Okay, so this is the whole motivation for the VLSI field, for all the VLSI designers. This is the only motivation. Okay, this is the Moore's law again. This is regarding the old one. This is the new one. So this is the Intel 1970s Moore's law and transistor, number of transistors, how number of transistors. Same thing is this. Okay, now this is it is not only to make the number of transistors in the chip more. We have also to concentrate on all the other things, like we have to also about the clock speed, about the frequency clock speed, about the interconnects of the input output devices, about everything. Because it's not possible that we put the number of transistors more and more and more and more and we get the speed. No, it's not possible. We have to mind all the surround things also. Okay, because everything depends. Because like our brain is processing more than in microseconds, we are in just in Americas anytime. It depends on the state of mind. But our hand and our legs are not allowed this. Okay, so this is the type of a thing that the input output device processing is done within a second. You can done trillions of switches can be operated, but our input output device interconnects not allowed, all these things. Okay, so this is the Pentium 4 processor. Simple. This is the design of the layout of the Pentium 4 processor. So this is there. We can't able to count the number of transistors in this. Okay, so one thing more. This is very important and might be good informative and you can you see the thickness of the human hair is in micrometers. Human hair in micrometers. And number of transistors is nanometer, just equal to 1000 nanometer. You just imagine, just like in one hair, it is possible to build more than 1000 number of transistors. If I'm saying about transistors, generally we are talking about the MOSFETs. Okay, not BJTs. 1000 number of transistors we can able to build in a single hair. This is the whole thing. You just imagine, we can't able to see even we have to concentrate to see the hair. But right now, it is possible to fabricate 1000 number of transistors in a single hair. This is the technology. This is the whole nutshell. What I told. This is the iPhone contains. This is the technology 10 nanometer FinFET process. FinFET. We will discuss the FinFET and FinFET process, and it comprises more than 4.3 billions of transistors. 4.3 iPhone you are using, it contains more than billions of transistors. If you are going to count it, then you take more than I think more than 1 year at least. Like 1, 2, 3. If you are going to count, then you need more than 1 year. Okay. So if we look to our single hair, that is dimension is maximum, so it can say that one single hair contains more than thousands of already said. Okay, at the root of this digital environment, there is a tri-terminal switch that make themselves on or off more than 10 billion times in a time span of single second to process trillions of floating point computations. Okay, so just imagine that in 1947 might be someone predicted these things, that it can be possible, but you see this is already possible. That we are using, you have an iPhone, then any phone, even in Redmi we are using Redmi Note 4 Pro, Note 4, it's 14 nanometer FinFET technology. Okay, now this is the simple bipolar and metal oxide difference. I think all of you already know. The major thing between the my bipolar and metal oxide, that bipolar has more leakage because there are there are holes and electrons, both are charge carriers. while in metal oxide semiconductors we have only one, and like this is the unipolar. And the major thing, the processing cost, because everything depends on the cost. And from the raw material for the MOSFET is also very cheap, like we are using the sand, and this is 90% of the earth. So that's why low processing cost. This is the major thing. Okay. So from last 5 decades, MOSFET dominating the entire field of semiconductors. However, the innovations are needed to keep continuing the Moore's law. Okay, alternate gate engineered, like gate engineered means that we are changing the dielectrics. Like we have an oxide, so we are changing the dielectrics. Like we are using some high K electrons. There is one more concept, MOT transistors. We'll discuss it. There's a time MOT transistor. Okay, this is a metal insulating transition. I'm working on that particular field right now. So this is we'll discuss if there is a time, if time permits. Okay, are coming to and used by the leading semiconductor and for the VLSI applications. Same thing. So this is the MOS transistor. I think all the faculties are there. There is no need to discuss. Everybody knows these things. This is the major thing. In 1980s, we have a power supply of 5 volts. It means we are like, I have a mouse. Okay, so in 1940s, 80s, even might be we have a not wireless mouse, but in 2000, when I have a first purchase first wireless mouse, then I have 2 cells in that one, 2 cells, not a single cell. But now you see there is a one single cell. There is a one single cell. It means it works. Before that, when they have 2 cells, it works on 3 volts. Now it's on only 1.5 volts. So you see the technology increases, because actually if we decrease the voltage, then the power is also reduced, because V in P equals to VI. Okay, so everything depends on the voltage. So there are 2 types of scalings actually, voltage scaling and field scaling, electric field scaling. So actually we are using the combined one, not even voltage scaling and field scaling. Generally we use the combined one. Okay, so VDD is generally reduced things. We are using 1.0. 1.0, even I'm in my application, because I'm working on a 7 nanometers or 14 nanometer technology node. So I'm using for MOSFET, I'm using 0.7, 0.8 volt. Okay, so just 0.7, 0.8 volt is very, just we are living in the world that we have surrounds the things which are operating from 220 volts. You just imagine. Okay, we have the things like this also, and we are using the 0.7 volt, 0.1 volt, 1.5 volt. Okay, so effective power supply voltage can be lowered due to higher drop across the powers. To reduce the power dissipation, the less voltage is needed. Okay, this is the most. Okay, this is the simple CMOS inverter. Okay. Hello, sir, some voice is coming. Can you mute them, please? Hello. Okay, I should be unmuted now. Might be because I'm speaking. Sorry. Okay, the CMOS NAND gate. I'm just defining the circuit, because this is the basic concept behind everything. What is MOS? As I already told, MOS. You just imagine MOS is just like this is the overhead tank. This is the simple tap, as you have a tap in your kitchen. This is the sink. Sorry. Simple tap. Okay, so what we are doing, this is the overhead tank that we have a syntax at your home roof, top roof of the home. Okay, so this is the water source of the water. So just water is coming from there. This is the just a gate tap. We are controlling using the mechanical force. We are moving anti-clockwise. The speed of the water is increasing. If we are moving to the clockwise direction, then the might be anti-clockwise. Clockwise is okay. So this is the knob. This is just inverse or depends. This is a simple. Okay, this is just like a drain, source, tap, and drain. Drain means this is just like gate. This is the drain. What is this thing? This is just like a MOSFET. In this, we are controlling the flow of water, the speed of water by controlling the gate tap. By moving this side, we are increasing this side, we are decreasing the speed of water. Okay, so this is just like a MOSFET, but in MOSFET, we are controlling the flow of charge carriers from source to drain, using the electric field. Electric field is directly proportional to voltage. Sometimes it's called as, sometimes most of it is called as a voltage operating device, voltage control device, due to this only. Okay, so this is the thing. We are controlling the flow of charge carriers from source to drain, from overhead tank to sink by using the tap gate. So this is the thing. You just remember this thing. If you remember this thing, you can solve any question like this. Actually, these are generally for the students. I'm just explaining the thing because it is more conceptual. Okay, like this. So here we have, when we have 0 0, then we know that the PMOS works at 0 and NMOS works at, sorry, PMOS works at 0 and NMOS works at 1. Okay, so here when we apply 0 0, this is, there is a VDD, then both these transistors are working. These transistors are working. It means when 0 0, it means there is a flow of water, flow of charge carriers from source to drain. Okay, or the source to drain. Okay, although in PMOS this is drain, this is source. Okay, and this is source, this is okay. Source to drain, source to drain. Okay, so here the voltage is 1, and these are not working at 0 0, but on, but when this is off, because it works, because the charge can has a space to come from here to there. Okay, so it works. Again it is 1001 again. Now this is the, because only the one transistor is work, does it, so it is working, but it is not, so the path of from VD to ground is closed, therefore the charge carriers are stopped here, comes to output. Okay, now when both the charge carriers, means both the inputs are 1 1, then the PMOS is off and the NMOS is on. Now in this case, the charge carriers, whatever they comes and ground. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the way. Okay, so this is the simple NAND gate. Like this, we have also NOR gate. Okay, now this is the simple metal oxide you already know, so no need to discuss. This is IDVG characteristics, IDV output characteristics. This is the short channel. I am just describing the basics. Then we are coming to the main research point. This is the short channel. When we set the short channel, actually when the, this is the, what happens actually. What happens actually when we have, like this is the simple MOS, and plus we are applying some, because this is a P type. Okay, now this is the diode, which diode, N plus and P. Okay, now this is reverse bias, because we are applying the positive voltage here. Okay, we are not asking, although we are right on gate, we are already applied 5 volt. Just suppose Here we are applying the positive voltage. This is the N plus P. This is the reverse bias. Now what happens in reverse bias? The depletion region increases. Definitely the depletion region increases now, because this is the reverse bias. And reverse bias, when we apply the reverse bias, the depletion region increases. In the forward bias, the depletion region decreases. So this is the thing. Then what happens when the reverse bias, the depletion region increases? So it creates the resistance, because the depletion is just like a region. Because this is the, what is depletion? Depletion region is the concentration, or we can say this is the collection of the immobile charge carriers, the charge carriers which can't able to move. Okay. So what happens when we are, because in long channel there is no problem, the length of the width of the depletion no problem, because we have the long channels, there is a in micrometers or somehow. But in nanometers, what happened when we are comparing the depletion with the channel length, it's comparable. Means when what the short channel, as per the book Kang book, there is one book Kang, it has written when the addition of depletion of source and source when the source side depletion region and the drain side depletion region is comparable to the channel length. What happens? 1 minute. Is comparable, then we say that the device is a short channel. Okay, then we say that the device is short channel. I think there is a problem. Okay, so this device is actually, when what is the short channel? Short channel when the depletion region, both the sum of both the depletion regions are comparable to the device length, short channel device channel length. Then it said that the channel is short channel. Okay, now the short channels, there are a number of short channel effects are come into existence, because when you miniaturize the things, then there is an electric field, and everything is have two types of effects, adverse effects and as well as good effects. Okay, so the adverse effects are generally, we are telling that these are the short channel effects. Okay, so these are some short channel effects. I'm not going to discuss it, because I think only one I will discuss, like drain induced barrier loading. What is drain induced barrier loading? Suppose generally our gate voltage is responsible to control the flow of charge carriers from source to drain. What is responsible? The gate voltage is responsible. Okay, but when the threshold voltage, what is threshold voltage? Threshold voltage is generally this voltage when our device comes to conduction. Okay, so when the threshold voltage becomes the function of the drain voltage, then we said drain induced DIBL comes into existence. That is because generally what we want that if we put the gate voltage, what voltage we put at the gate, the channel, the charge carriers from source to drain moving according to the applied gate voltage, not applied to the drain voltage. If we are talking about this is a past tense concept. Okay, but because the electric field is, because the channel is short and the drain voltage is also high, and it also creates a depletion in electric field, so the threshold voltage becomes the function of the drain voltage. Okay, so we said that this is because the control is in drain voltage, not in the gate voltage. Okay, so that then we said that comes into it. Okay, now these are the, what are the planar MOSFETs? Because our task is to continue the Moore's law. Our major task is to continue the Moore's law. Okay, so this is the things which we are planning, we are using right now in the scenario in the today's world to continue the Moore's law. So these are the some of the things. Now this is the total research part. The basic is different. Okay, now silicon on insulator. What is silicon on insulator? In silicon on insulator, generally what we use, this is the box. In the simple MOSFET, we have not this, we have P type and n-type. There is a no any oxide concept. Now here we introduce the oxide. Generally we termed as buried oxide box, buried oxide. Okay, so buried oxide. So buried oxide, what is buried oxide? It is just like an oxide layer which we put inside the above the substrate. Okay, what is the advantage of this buried oxide? Actually, first thing, it reduces the capacitance. How it reduces? See, there is a one, because here we have depletion region. Depletion region is somehow like an insulator, because I already, this is the concentration, this is the collection of immobile charge carriers, and there is a one more here. So these both capacitor are in series, and we know when the capacitor are in series, then it becomes less comparable to parallel. This opposite of the resistance actually. So what happens? Generally, the capacitance reduces here. The value of the capacitance reduces. So this is the major advantage of the SOI. Next, because there is a no need of a much isolation, because already we have a box here. There is the box. There is some isolation there, here, everywhere. So the isolations techniques are much needed here, in comparable to MOSFETs. Okay, no latch-up. Latch-up is actually what happens. Latch-up is generally there is a in MOSFET. What happens? There is a, because this is P, this is N, this is P. Okay, and there is a one we are generally, because in CMOS it happens, there is a one more N, because we are using the P wall or N wall might be. So there we get the NP type structure. What is this? This is the SCR. And what is the advantage of the SCR and disadvantage? If SCR starts, because this is what happens, it is just like our one of the, this is like PNP transistor and NPN transistor if we are talking. Okay, so what happens? The collector of one is attached with the, sorry, this is the wrong. So the collector of one is attached with the gate of the another one. The collector of one is attached with the gate of the another one. So what happens? The collector increases, because we know that these are generally beta or alpha, whatever the value is, the amplification factor, because the transistor is generally used for amplification. However, okay, what we have applied, the input voltage, the output voltage is much more 100 times, depends on the beta. Okay, so what happens when we apply the when we connect the collector with the base? What happens? It increasing like anything, and it reaches to the stage where the device is damaged. So this is the problem of LHF, because, and how it triggers? It triggers using the hot carrier effects generally. Okay, because the hot carrier is not hot actually. This is the high energized. Okay, hot carrier effects. Okay, if any problem, you can mail me. We'll discuss this. No issues. Okay, and Savitesh ma'am knows all these things. She is my senior actually, so she knows everything. Okay, so hot carrier effect actually. So this is the thing which triggers the latch-up problem generally in the MOSFET, but in SOI there is a no scope, because what happens? This is possible only due to this conduction, but here there is a no possibility of the conduction. No possibility of the conduction, because there is the box region, and box is just like an insulator. Okay, so simple device isolations, excellent radiation hardness, small junction leakage currents, reduced short channel effects. Short channel effects is also reduced, but because there is a no path from drain channel source to substrate. Okay, so there is a one more concept, stained silicon. What is a stained silicon actually? Actually we have two things, eye off and eye on. What is the main target of the VLSI designer? The main target of the VLSI designer to increase the eye on and to decrease the eye off. This is the only main target for every VLSI designers. If we are seeking that we need eye on by eye off ratio should be maximum. Okay, this is our target. Okay, so there are some techniques to increase the ion and there are some techniques to reduce the ion. So the techniques to increase the ion, okay, there is a one or technique, stained silicon, which is generally used to increase the. So what is stained silicon? Now this is the to increase the ion. You know about the crystal lattice structure. Okay, I'm skipping this slide because we'll discuss. Let's go. Oh, okay, leave it. Okay, now this is the main slide. What happens? We have a one single silicon crystal. This is on the device levels. Okay, device means on the material level. Okay, so we have a one single silicon crystal. Generally the silicon crystals has less lattice constant comparable to germanium crystal. Okay, so what we do, we put germanium into silicon to move it more. See, this is the difference. This is the lattice constant, the difference of the distance of the one atom to another. These are the atoms. So in silicon germanium, as we have seen, as we see, the number of the distance is a little bit increased. So the lattice constant is increased. Here is lattice constant is less. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, what is the strain? Strain when we put means when we elongate and put it on silicon germanium. Like we have a silicon germanium. Here we have a silicon germanium, and this is the silicon, simple silicon. Okay, we take it, we stretch the silicon and put it on silicon germanium. Not like it. This is not like this simple that we just put. Now this is the techniques. I am just telling for the explanation that when we stretch the silicon and put it on silicon germanium, then what happens, or generally it happens because when we form the crystal, because there is a lot of processing steps, but generally this is generally known as stained silicon. This is termed as stained silicon because they have to match. This have to match. Okay, now what happens, the distance between these atoms are increased. Okay, now what is this distance resembles? Actually, there is a one word, mobility. This is very simple. Mobility means freeness to move. Freeness to move means how simple the particle, the charge carrier is able to move within the crystal. If there is a no scattering, if there is a no, then definitely means the collision, the mean free path, the collision time is high. Okay, so we can say the mobility is more. Mobility is just like how it can be able to move it freely. How is it is possible? So this is the, and this is depends on the concentration of germanium. If there is less, because concentration of germanium defines everything, this layer. Okay, so this is Si, this is written here Si1 minus X. So this is the concentration of germanium. Okay, so however, we know that germanium is not stable as comparable to silicon. There is a much leakage in germanium. So we have to, this is the means mid thing for the silicon and the germanium. Okay, there are two type of, there is a lot of possibilities to apply the stain within a structure. There is a one method for the uniaxial stain, biaxial stain, the stain in the caps, like in the contacts, the stain into the channel, the stain into the substrate. Already Intel has incorporated the stain, biaxial stain, in 1997, might be in their processors, and might be they are using right now till now. This is an old technology, but because this is unstable. Why? Because we are increasing the ion current, but the IOP is also increasing. So we have to apply all the techniques within our structure. Means something we have to make to decrease the IOP, something we have to make to increase the IOP. Okay. So this is a simple concept. Now there is a one more concept. This concept is, there are a lot of concepts. Okay, I am covering only 2 or 3 concepts because the time is less, so not possible to cover everything. So already I think what's the time? It's 9:39. Okay, so this is the concept of ground plane. What is ground plane? This is just like a earth, ground. What the speciality of grounds, whatever charge we are giving to the ground, it absorbs. Okay, so what happens in the transistor? Again come to the MOSFET, N plus. So sometimes I told you that there is a leakage from to substrate due to this gate voltage, or might be to the gate voltage also if there is a high electric field. So VD substrate. So what happens to stop this? There is a one concept of a ground plane. What is ground plane? We are putting, if there is a N plus, then we are putting one P plus here. Now whatever the charge originating from this point are grounded towards this. Now it finished, just like a ground. If you have a negative or positive charge carriers, charges, then it comes to this, and the things are closed here only. You understand? Means the negative charge is coming from the, because there is a coulombs and they are not coming back to the channel like this. Coming from there, some charges are there from, so these charges are stopped using the ground plane concept. Okay, here we put some ground plane. So there are many techniques by which we can able to put the ground plane into the structure. So these are some of the, this is one of my paper which was already published in year 2014. But this is a new thing because already the structures have changed, but the technology, the techniques are not changed. Till now, I'm using these techniques only. So this is the structure. Here we are using, this is the simple SOI structure. Here we are using the ground plane before this buried oxide. Here we are using the ground plane within the substrate. Within the, sorry, this, here we are using within the substrate. This is GPS structure. Here we are using GP. This is GPS. This is GPB. The ground plane within the buried oxide. Okay. So this is the structure. This is again the, this is the, we are using the stained silicon. Here we are using the stained silicon. Here again, this is the ground plane within the structure. Before the structure, we are using the stained channel and the ground plane in the same structure. So here we are using the ground plane within the substrate. Okay. So these are the stick sections I compared, and all the things are done on the Pinterest tool of Synopsys. So these are the things. See, the drain current is increasing, and this is, these are the,
Sir, not audible, sir, your voice.
hello, not audible. Hello, now, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it is audible.
Okay, thank you, please. Okay, so this is the simple stained. This is the simple MOSFETs with ground planes and without ground plane might be. Okay, so this is the stained. So you see the current in the stained is increasing. Same thing. This is a 25 nanometer technology. This is 32 nanometer technology. Okay, this is the septal graphs. Okay, so this is the DIBL. So we have seen that DIBL is increasing in stained structures. This is not the stained structure. This is the stained structures. This is the only ground plane structures. Okay. So these are the comparison. That in the stained structures, we have generally more drain current, more output current, more on current. Now, this is the devices, means that one is the techniques to reduce the current or increase the, means to increase the mobility or reduce the leakage current. This is the technology by controlling the channel. Like, see, this is the simple MOS. This is the double gate MOS. Like you all are the teachers, you know everything. Okay. Now suppose there is a one student. One student is controlling by teacher only. The teacher, he is controlling by the teacher only. Hello. Hello. Yeah, sir. Please mute. Please mute the voice. Actually, it creates a. Okay. So this is the simple MOS. Okay, there is the only one gate. Means like a student, the teacher only controlling the student. So definitely the efficiency of students also. Okay. Now it is controlled by the teacher as well as the parents. Definitely, if we are controlling the students, mean two-way control. He can't able to escape from his duties. So the controlling from two sides. The efficiency of the student is increased. Now, even though, because now there is a tough competition, so we have to control all. So we put, there is a one FinFET. This is generally, this is the structure which are using right now. Like I told you, Apple, Redmi, every mobile is using the FinFET structures right now. Okay, and the Savitesh ma'am is working on FinFET only. Good work. They have good papers, good research papers. I am always following his papers. Okay, so FinFET. This is why it is FinFET. Actually, FinFET is just like, because the fish has a fin, like fish has fin. they controlling their motion by three ways: from tail and by through wings. Okay, through fins. We generally call it fins. Okay, so this is the thing. That's why it is called as fin fed, because the controlling is from three ways, like this structure. You see, the channel is controlled by three ways: this, and this. Three ways we are controlling the structure. So this is the thing. We are controlling the things by three ways. Means from the left side, from the up side. Now there is one more structure, nanowire. In what we have done in this, we have controlling the structure from all the sides. Then what we did, we just overlap the gate like this. Everywhere there is a like this. Okay, so this is the thing. So this is the actually the structure of the nanowire. You see, we have a gate overlap. All over the gate we have the gate. All over the structure we have the gate from every side. This middle part is generally have a gate. Okay. Now come to the tunnel fed. Generally now the things are going towards the tunnel fed. Okay, so tunnel fed is generally our simple MOSFET is working on the thermions. Means the charge carriers transfers from source to change using the heating, means using the thermions, means using the some thermal or electric field. But in the tunnel fed, the things are going with the help of tunneling. We also termed as coping, tunneling. By just like this is the band diagram, conduction band and valence band, conduction and valence band. So the things are going towards the valence band using this tunneling. If the thickness of the tunneling is less, means if there is a gap is less, the tunneling is more. If the gap is more, the tunneling is. If the gap is less, the tunneling is more. If the gap is more, there is no tunneling. Okay, so in that, this is the example of tunnel fed, and we are using the tunnel fed. The major advantage of the tunnel fed is that the leakage is less. Although the disadvantage is the on current is less, but the major advantage, because we are more because we are already working on the 0.7 volt, 0.8 volt. So the leakage is very much means we have to concentrate on the leakage very much more comparable to the on current, because leakage is the quantity of like 0.1, 0.2, and if we are using the 0.7 volt, then it creates the problem, comparable problem. Okay, so this is the thing, this is the idea is, and we are generally here 20. So we are doing the research, but the future technologies depends on the productions development, and this is the research. Okay, so after that we'll see what happens. So okay, this is the difference between the tunnel fed already told. This is again that structure. Now there is a more structure. Here we are controlling only from the out inside. Now there is a one more structure inside as well the outside. So the controlling is more that there is a no chance for the charge carriers to escape. Maximum number of charge carriers will come from source to drain. This is our concept. This is our because our requires that there should be a no leakage. So nanotube is just like this. We have a channel. We have the gate electrode outside the outside as well from the inside. So this is my work. I have done this thing and already published paper on this. I have taken outer diameter since something. What is the doping and everything. So these are the graphs. Some graphs are there. The channel length, so definitely the current will increase. So I'm not. This is the DIPL and all those things. There is a variant of just concentrating on the devices. So if you want to do, then this is the possibility. You can be able to do the research in these things. You can take any type of a device. Okay. So we have put the stain into the silicon nanotube. Put the stain into the silicon nanotube structure. Put the into the silicon nanotube structure. So there is a stain. How we put the stain? There are a lot of technology. Although we have to do the simulations, this is under production. Might be in a 2 or 3 years we get the experimental of this one. Okay. So This is the drain current. So you see the drain current is increasing in strained, and this is the unstrained. This is the strained and this is the unstrained. Okay, so these are the some of merits. Okay, now I think the time is also left, so I am coming to the major part, which is one of the most important. Okay, I'm doing it very fast. So this is actually halo region. There is a halo region. What is halo region? Actually, I already told you there is a depletion region forms here due to the N plus and P. Okay, this is due to the VD reverse bias. So because this depletion creates a lot of problems, so we have to reduce the depletion region width. So what we do, we just implant one. If there is N plus, then P plus in this region. Like here we implant one P plus, small region. Like if there is analysis of 32 nanometer, then only 2 nanometer length we implant. What is the benefit of this? This benefit is, this is halo region actually. What is the benefit of this? This reduces the depletion region, because we know that if we are implanting P plus, means highly doped region towards the N plus, then the depletion region thickness is less, is reduced actually. So this is the point. So that's why this is the one more concept, depletion region, halo region. So this is halo region doping and taking the readings. So already this is under publication. There's again, so this is now the silicon nanotube. The structure. Internally we are using this one, means N plus, and here we are using P plus. This is the major difference between the tunnel FET and the simple FET. Okay, so we are using this generally the pin structure or the nip structure. It depends, PIN or NIP. So this is the tunnel FET. This is the, because in tunnel FET the major thing is the band diagram, conduction band and valence band. So this is the off condition band diagram. This is the on condition band diagram. So you see the things. In on condition we have seen that the tunneling is less. Okay, so these are the some of the things, subthreshold and all those things. Not taking much time because you already know. Now there is one more concept. There is a concept that we can also introduce the high K oxide in between the channel. High K oxide. What is high K oxide? Like this is the, suppose this is the SiO2, because we are using the insulating layer. Now this is only have the value of 3.9. The K value is, the K is dielectric constant. Okay, we can use HFO2, which is about 23 or 25 might be. I don't know the exact value. This is 25. Okay, it is written, sorry, 25. HFO2 25 value. So you see. So this is the major advantage of this thing we are introducing. And what is advantage? Actually, we know C equals to epsilon Ka by T. We can say C is directly proportional to K. Okay, so this is the K. You see, if we increase, because actually what's the problem? Because we are decreasing, because as the channel decreases, the thickness of the oxide is also decreases. The thickness of the oxide is also decreases. But when we decrease the oxide from 2 nanometer, below 2 nanometer, if we put it 1 nanometer, there is a chances of tunneling. Means there is a chances of tunneling from here to there. This creates again a problem. So what we do, we are taking the high K oxides. If we are using the high K oxides in 1 nanometer, then there is no problem, because the capacitance is more, because the K is more. So these are the things we are also. I have also done one work in using different oxide, high K and low K. So these are the things. As you have seen, the current in the, this is the major thing. The current, this is the current. High K, this is the blue one, is the K current is increasing and the leakage is less. This is the point. Leakage is also less and the current is also more. Okay, so this is the transconductance. This is the major thing. Means the last topic, and this is the major FET-based biosensors. What is this? What is this? Actually, as we have the major advantage of the nanotube, the surface to volume ratio is more. the surface to volume ratio is more. Mind it. Surface to volume ratio is. What is the advantage of surface to volume ratio? We discuss. Now suppose this is the simple nanotube structures. There what we do, here we remove the dielectric, here we remove the dielectric, here we remove the dielectric. We put the dielectric only. Here we remove the dielectric as well as this oxide. But actually what happens, there is a sacrificial oxides. Means when we take the silicon in the presence of the air, so it makes that simple layer of the oxide. That's why it's seen. Although this is very less, it's about 1 nanometer, 0.5 nanometer. So this is sacrificial oxide. So this is the structure, this is the things. So what we do, there is a biomolecules. Biomolecules, what is biomolecules? Biomolecules is actually like a streptavidin, and there is a lot of compounds like proteins and all. Viruses have about, as we have seen, this coronavirus. Coronavirus is about 0.4 in some micrometers. The dimension of this one is in some micrometers. If it is possible to get the dielectric constant of that particular virus, then it is possible to detect. And it is a very cheap. The biosensors made with the MOSFETs are very cheap, and there is no need to even means if you are just take into the environment, you can able to check this is a virus or not. There is a proteins, there is a everything we can able to check, but we need the dielectric constant of the material. Like the diabetic patients, the bloods of diabetic patients has more dielectric comparable to the patients compared to the person who is all right. Means if you check the might be because it depends on the person to person, the dielectric constants of the blood. But I have seen one paper which was published by some madam from Ghaziabad. I'm not know the college, but if you search on the Google, then you will be able to search. Then the dielectric constants of the blood is different for the diseases pupils and for the non-diseases pupils. Okay, so it can be possible to check the things using the dielectric. So here we use only this concept. So this is the biomolecules, how we means here we put the biomolecules, and the dielectric of the biomolecules is different, depends on the number of biomolecules, which type of biomolecules we are using. So we model here using the different number of dielectrics constant we are using, like 1, 2, 3 for different. Okay, and the most of the proteins are so here we are using the dielectrics are less. Okay, so the surface to volume ratio is more, therefore more number of charge carriers are able to be in contact with the surface of the nanotube. More number of charge carriers are able to be in contact with the surface of the nanotube. Okay, because and here we have two ways, from the outside as well as from the inside. Okay. So this is the major
ఎందుకు ఎక్కువ తొందర కావాలన్నా చాలా టైం పడుతుందా?
Mute, please mute. Sir, please mute the things.
Participants are requested to please.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the front view. This is the means front view of the biosensor. So you see the biomolecules are come from here. This is the single means not the whole tube structure. There is a only one wall. Okay, so you see the biomolecules are coming from here and here. So they are immobiles with the structure. So what happens? The drain current is changed as per the dielectric value. So we can able, but we should have the specifications of the biomolecules. Okay, that this biomolecules depends this biomolecules. We can also add something more. Means we can also use some material, or we can also use some more parameters to check the things. Okay, but because only one thing I have concentrated only on the biomolecules, dielectric of the biomolecules, and also on the interface step charges, means the charged molecules. Like some molecules have charged, some have not charged, some have negatively charged. So I also consider in my research the both things, the dielectric constant as well as the charge of the molecules, of the biomolecules. Okay, so this is the nano cavities embedded in the gain insulator region or at the side gate electrode for immobilizing the biomolecules. Okay, so the binding of the biomolecules alters the gate capacitance and converts the absorption of biomolecules into useful changes in the electrical. Actually, we are judging that there are a lot of things by which sensitivity issues, like we can also check using the threshold voltage, we can also check using the drain current, we can also check using the ambipolar current. There are a lot of things. Why we can able to judge what changes are occur by using the biomolecules. Okay, again, this is a thing. So these are the one more thing. Actually, the biosensors are working on in the linear region, not in the saturation region. Why? Because the heating effect in the linear region is less. Because if we increasing the current, if we increasing the voltage, the heating is more. Sometimes what happens, because the behavior of the biomolecules in the heated environment and the non-heated environment is totally different, and the signal to noise ratios are also different. So this is the thing actually. So generally we are using the biosensors in the linear region, means it is less. Okay, so this is the research move. This is the tube diameter. I have generally used that the tube means the diameter means the fully the half fill. Okay, so these are the readings for the fully fill and the half fill. Means half filled biomolecules, half filled dielectric, and fully filled dielectrics. And this is the things. So these are the things. This is the electric charge, urgent electricity as we increase charge. See, this electric field again. This is the dielectrics. Okay, so we are the k equals to 1, then we increasing the dielectric, then the electric field is in. Definitely it will change. Okay, so these are the things. These are the some of the ion arc. This is the major thing. So we have seen this is the ion ratio. This is the ion ratio. Okay, so this is the sensitivity. The sensitivity is the simple thing. We can make the sensitivity. I generally check with on ion. It can be possible to check with the threshold voltage and molecular. It can be possible to check anything. Okay, there's one more topic I'm adding. This is some advanced topic actually. This is generally not from the VLSI completely, but yeah, but this is the advanced, and I think in the near future it creates. This is the major topic because generally we are using the MOSFETs and all to make the memory. So there is a one component missing actually, memoristor. Might you people knows about this or not? This is resistor like equals to R. We know resistor is again dV upon di. Capacitor dq upon dy. Inductor d phi m upon di. What is this? This is electric flux. Okay. Now what is this? Is the actually memristance. Okay. So this is d phi m upon d, because the relation between dv, di, dq, and d phi m. So this relation is because it was discovered by some scientists in the scientist Leon Schwer in 1971. But this has, because till date it is not yet been demonstrated by anyone. So this has a lot of research possibilities in memristors. Okay, and what is the memristors? I'm just telling, memristors is just like a thing that it memorizes the things. Means it's just like a memory without you using of the ICs and all those things. This is, you just see the diameter of the, this is the simple pipe. This is the analogy of memristor. The diameter of pipe remains same when the current is switched off. Means at what state you stop the VDD, or you means you stop it, means you just at what voltage at when you off this particular device, then at what state you resume it. At the time when you again on it, when you again makes it process, then it on the same state. It not comes to its initial state, like microprocessor, like processor, like transistors. When we apply, when we disconnected the power supply, it comes to the initial state, it offs. But this is on. When we removes the power from this, then it remains on. This is the diameter of pipe remains same when the current is switched off until it is switched on again. When we switch on, then it do something. The pipe, when the current is switched on again, remembers what current has flowed through it when it off. So this is the actually I'm just telling you the simple concept. Already it is demonstrated by some of the scientists using the titanium this TiO2 compound. So the benefits of this applied, what happens actually, the applied voltage makes the oxygen vacancies to shift towards the this side, negative side. Okay, so it remains the thing. You can find it on internet, or many books also are there, but it not yet been, it has been demonstrated by anyone, means the working one. So there are a lot of possibilities of research in this one. And there is a one more thing. There is a one I have not included the slide, but there is a one thing. transistor. MOSFET. Actually, MOSFET has given the concept between the metal insulator. Might the physics people knows it very well. Insulator transition. Oh, this is the last slide actually. Okay, so generally we have oxides in this, and the major advantage of this, there is a no transition state. Like because we are increasing the number of transistors, definitely the speed of the power dissipation is comparable to the less number of transistors is more in the large number of transistors. So here what, and the number of charge carriers is also less. Like in the simple transistor only, now we are at 20 nanometer, then we are finding on 20 charge carriers, fruitful charge carriers. But in the mod devices, and this is the major disadvantage of the current technology. To continue the Moore's law, we need something different. So these are the things that the memoristor and the mod transistors might be in the near future. Memoristor, if you want to search, then you search vanadium oxide. Vanadium oxide is actually compound. Okay, VO2. This is the property of MOT. Means it direct comes like this. Mean there is a no transition change from metal to insulator. There is a no concept of in between. Okay, so this is the thing, vanadium oxide and MOT. I think if the time permits, then might be already the time is gone. Okay, so any questions you can ask. You simply on your mic and you can ask the question, no issues. Unmute your mic and you can ask. Or you can also, I think there is a chat section, might be, so you can put the things in the chat. From my side, it's finished.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening section. From the participation side, if any questions.
No questions so far.
No questions.
Okay. May I know invite Tirupati Rao sir, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, to propose vote of thanks.
Okay, Vijay sir, may I now?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
You are audible.
Am I audible? Okay. So good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Tirupati Rao,
Yes, sir.
Assistant
Please,
Professor
please, yeah.
from. Hello.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, I'm Tirupati Rao from Department of ECE from.
Yes, sir. Please.
Dr. TVR and Dr. H.S. Mick College of Technology. I feel fortunate to present the vote of thanks for today's session. Thank you, sir, for sparing your time for us to deliver a presentation on research opportunities in VLSI devices. Thank you for enlightening us on this topic, starting from the scratch. That's like briefing the history, and then on to Moore's law, and then highlighting the short channel effect, and then introducing us the planar MOSFET concept, and so on to memoristor. And I like to thank our HOD, Dr. Gautam Kumar Gupta, and convener, Dr. M. Savitesh Sharma, and Vijay Kant sir, as well as Rajkumar sir. And I would also like to thank our college management and principal Dr. Y. Sudhir Babu Garu and CEO Dr. Panduranga Rao Garu for making this happen. And I would also like to thank for your patient's participation to all the participants. And I would also like to expect the same participation and same enthusiasm on tomorrow's session also. And thanking you all for giving me this opportunity. And Vijay Kant sir, you may.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I am. Yes, sir. Please, please. Thank you. Yes, sir. Please. Hello. Yes, sir. Voice is not audible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible. Hello, Vijay Kant sir.
Yes, sir. I am saying I am. Yes, sir. Please, please, please.
So
hello,
I'm waiting
sir,
for
sir. Actually, I'm also
from the participation side. I am waiting for that, sir. We are taking from the few minutes.
Please, no issues. If there is a problem, you can also type in the text box. I'm seeing the text box.
As a,
Please, if any question, you can type in the chat box also.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Please.
madam, you are audible.
So can you please specify any of the recent papers on Murmister which we can go through?
Ma'am, there are a lot of papers. You just search because I already told. Then Memrator is yet
Okay,
till nowadays there is a no any type of a demonstration of this practical. Okay, but I have seen many papers because see this is the interdisciplinary branch. Memristor is an interdisciplinary. Some mechanical peoples are also working, and it also formed in the thin film, like nanostructure thin films. Now they also have the
Okay, sir.
remain the history of the thing. Remain the thing. So there are a lot of papers. You just search it on internet. You get many books and many things as available on the Memristors for the basics. Okay, and
Okay,
there is also the okay. So these are the things which are generally in the research. There is a one professor in the IIT Kanpur. I think Professor Abhishek. He is very young. He is working in. He was worked in Austria. I met with him. He is working on the vanadium oxide based MOSFETs. Okay, so you see the things.
Okay.
It's this is a very please.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. Thank you all of
Thank
you,
you,
sir. I have seen first time this much of a participants, 231 participants. Thank you all for you for your
Sir,
patience to hear me.
excuse me, sir.
thank you so much, sir. Rajkumar sir, speak now.
Yes, sir. Actually, we had total 254. Last participant count was 254. Now, actually, session is going to complete. That's why now they are 230. They are filling the data form and they are going. Yes, sir.
But still now, sir, till the end, we have already. Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Actually, I have already
once again-
given more than 5 lectures in this month only from this month in June, from starting June. But I have never seen this much of a participants in any. Only 50, 60 is more than enough.
Yes,
So
sir.
this much of a
254.
participants,
We
I
have
really
254.
appreciate it, sir. And I'm okay. I'm also thankful to Savitesh Madhulika, Professor Savitesh Madhulika Sharma, madam. She is my means senior, and thank you for inviting me, ma'am. And hope you in the future, near future, you also give me some tasks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for your very informative and knowledgeable section, sir. Savtesh, madam, you are not audible, madam. Dear participants, those who have completed the feedback, you may leave this section. Once again, I'm repeating, those who have completed the feedback, you may leave this section.
Okay, sir.
The feedback
I'm
link
thinking
will
of-
valid for only 15 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Okay. Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Shall I leave, sir? Okay. And the
Yes,
meeting.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Please.
sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Rajkumar, sir,
Yes. Yes, sir.
can you stop the recording section?
Yes, sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.